Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Nikita Zhitov, and Nikita comes from Raleigh, North Carolina. So Nikita, it's great to have you on today. I just am fascinated by your background. Would love to hear how you got into real estate and some of your stories along the way. So if you wouldn't mind giving us a little of that, that would be great to start.
Sure, Bruce. Thank you for having me here. I've been in real estate for now 20 plus years. I've studied my actual senior year in high school, kind of by accident. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do after high school, and was heading to college. I actually had a full-ride scholarship to go to college, but I was not really super excited about it. Was more trying to figure out how to get into business, and that led me to discovery of real estate investing, which I didn't know anything about. And through mentoring, through shadowing some people, I got exposed to the idea of wholesaling, that you can have very little of your own money, and you can, get a building under contract and, at discount, and find somebody who's willing to pay more for it, and essentially wholesale a property and make a lot of money yourself, which worked great for me because I didn't have any money. I didn't have any credit history, good or bad. Heck, I could even speak English, actually. So it was pretty good.
So
for me, because
you're like 18 years old or so at this time?
Yeah, 18 years old, a senior in high school, and let's just started networking with real estate investors locally, and that led me to wholesaling my first apartment building. It was a 16-unit apartment building. Got it under contract for $400,000. It was 500 earnest money, which is the only money I had at the time, and I was able to wholesale it and make around $50,000 on my first flip. That felt like winning a lottery. I thought that money will never run out, and would last me eternity. So I got into the college, had a full-ride scholarship, academic scholarship to go to UNC Chapel Hill. But as you can imagine, by the end of my first semester, I got hooked. I caught the real estate bug. So I got hooked on the sport of real estate acquisitions and creative finance. So I dropped out from college, walked away from scholarship, and just pursued career in real estate full time ever since.
Haven't looked back. So
I would look back. Well, I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked back, and during the time of 2008 recession, and I lost everything. So it's had some resets along the way. It hasn't been a super smooth ride. It had some bumps and resets, but so I have looked back and wondered. I wonder what would have happened, if I stayed and got a degree and stayed in college. But at the end, it all worked out. But there were a few times when I did hesitate and rush in.
We all had those moments, particularly in real estate, where you think, "Well, why did I go into this?" So when did you get a real estate license?
I got my license. I started real estate, again, investing in 2004. I think I got my license in 2006 or 2007. And but I haven't actually brokered any deals. I just got it for education purposes. I think I brokered my first transaction in 2010 or 2011, which was more out of necessity as I was trying to recover from the recession, 2008 recession. I just, I couldn't buy any properties. No banks were lending money. And so I at least thought I'd use my knowledge to help other people buy real estate. So that's kind of how I got into brokerage in 2010-11.
So even in high school, you when you did your first 16 units, you didn't really have a license at that time.
No, I've probably bought, 40, 50 properties before I got my license.
So you were acting as a principal.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting lesson to learn, that you don't necessarily have to have a license to get into commercial real estate. And so you can start out as a principal and do the wholesale side and kind of work your way up that way.
Yeah, but having a license is definitely the easiest way to get into real estate. As a matter of fact, because real estate have changed my life. It's such a beautiful sport or business to be in. it has ability to take normal people like myself with no, money, no connections, no endorsements, no sphere of influence, no credit history, and it has ability to, and without college education, and somebody who couldn't even speak English, to take that person and turn them into a multimillionaire many times over. That's what this business has ability to do to people. So I'm very grateful to this business. So a number of years ago, I started a foundation. It's called Nikita Zhitov Foundation for Real Estate Education. And it's basically for any high school students or college students who want to get into real estate and get a license, because that's the easiest way to get into real estate, get a license. I would pay for their license, basically.
Wow.
I'll pay for their classes, for the license, and no strings attached. It's just like, hey, if you want to start it, I'm gonna pay for your license, and then the rest is up to you. But at least it's to get them exposed to it, because I think it's really the best business to be in.
So how many people do you have working with you or for you right now?
Again, we're doing mostly our own acquisitions, investments, with a portfolio of roughly $350 million of assets under, I guess, ownership or management. So we don't really do a lot of third-party business, or hardly any at all. But we got maybe 20, 22 people now working on the...
Yeah. But are those brokers, or are those people working on?
So half is admin staff, marketing, admin, office admin, accounting, and things like that, and half is licensed brokers. But they either work on the acquisitions team, like looking for new opportunities to buy for us, or they work on the leasing side, where we have a vacancy to get it leased up. So it's out of the 22 people. Probably 10 or 12 of them are, I think, licensed.
And what's the makeup of your portfolio these days?
Right now, it's mostly industrial, small bay industrial, flex space. That accounts probably for 45% of the portfolio. Another 30% is retail, shopping centers, neighborhood retail centers, strip centers, grocery anchored community centers. And the rest, other 25%, is more like some of the legacy stuff, like land, multifamily, some office buildings, stuff like that.
So are you out finding off-market deals, or where are you finding transactions?
Yeah, both on market, off market. We send letters. Our team calls a lot of people daily. But also networking relationships with other brokers. We don't look at other companies and brokerage firms as our competition. We look at them as our partners, because we actually tell them, hey, if you find us an off-market deal, bring it to us before it hits the market. Right. So we could be the first ones to learn about it. And if so, we'll let you represent us, right? Even though we're licensed brokers, we'll let you represent us if you bring us a market deal. And B, we'll let you invest with us. So we'll, and come in as a GP or as LP in our deals.
How many investors do you have in your group?
We got a couple hundred investors in our network, but probably 20 to 30 who regularly invest with us in most deals, deal after deal. But again, we try to encourage brokers to invest with us in deals, because ultimately that's how they're going to build wealth. Commercial real estate is actually one of the best business to be in. You can make a lot of money doing brokerage business. So whether it's residential or commercial. As a matter of fact, Harvard Business School did a study a number of years ago, and they look at all different professions out there, and they evaluated them based on office space requirements, education requirements, licensing requirements, capitalization requirements, barriers to entry, all those factors, and they put it in a blender. And what come out of it, number one, best business to be in is real estate sales.
Wow.
Because for $400 and 30 days of classes, that's how much it usually costs to get a license. You can have your license, $400 in 5-6 weeks of schooling. And office space requirements are minimum, so barriers to entry are really minimum. And it's absolutely nothing these days for a real estate agent to sell 8 to 10 houses a year and make over $100,000.
Right.
That's in the residential side. If in commercial, we sell 8-10 billions a year, you're going to make $500,000 plus. And if you're a good agent, you're going to send probably more like 30 or 40 buildings and make a couple $1 million. So that's why it's the best, one of the best business to be in. So, but ultimately it's earned income. You have to pay taxes on it, and and you're probably going to spend the money unless you invest it. So we really encourage everybody who works in our company, and also even brokers from other firms, to encourage them to come in and reinvest their commissions, come in as get equity in the deal, write the loan number curtails. Right. So we are the ones who are the primary sponsor. We're getting the loan, doing execution. They just have to come in and invest their commission, and this way they can get percentage of the ownership, because that's ultimately what's going to start building their wealth over a long period of time.
So you win, they win approach.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So did you ever actually work for another real estate firm?
No. I mean, I had other real estate firms. Again, after the 2008 recession, I had another company. My current company called CityPlat. Again, we primarily do our own investments, but my previous company, we did brokerage work for a couple of years just to recover from recession, and then we did a lot of development and developing subdivisions, ground up, family, stuff like that. But about 5 years ago. Yeah.
Mostly in the Raleigh area, right?
In the Carolinas, yeah, not just Raleigh, Charlotte, but kind of close to home. There's so many deals here. Why go anywhere else?
Why go to Florida or South Carolina or anywhere?
Well, people, chase deals. I see buying deals in multiple states and going all over the country and thinking the grass is greener on the other side. But the fact of the matter is the grass is greener where you water it, right? So there is plenty of deals right in your backyard if you just know how to look for them.
And you're a 1031 exchange specialist. You're an exchange specialist of all types, right? So you kind of help people invest and then reinvest.
I mean, I don't know if I would call myself a real estate 1031 exchange specialist. We've done quite a few of them for ourselves. And when I was doing brokerage, we helped clients do 1031 exchanges. But it's I'm not a licensed intermediary, if that's what you're referring to.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Right, but you certainly have done that along the way.
Yeah. 1031 exchanges, 1033 exchanges, there's 729 exchanges when you invest into a REIT. So we've done all kinds of different exchanges over the years.
Yeah, and then you've gotten a number of kind of certifications, CCIM and different certifications. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that's helped you along the way?
It's more, again, so yeah, I do have CCIM designation, I have SAOR designation, and I have ALC designation. So I think at the time I got it, I was the only person in the United States who had all three designations at the same time. There's plenty of people who have ALC and CCIM, or CCIM and SAOR, but and there is now it might have changed, but when I got it a number of years ago, I was the only person in the US who had it, all three. And there are definitely better prestigious designations to have, and but I got them not for prestige. I got them more for education purposes, so that if I can learn things and learn better ways to analyze market absorptions, or how to compare a lease versus sale leasebacks versus keep properties, different scenarios. Because look, real estate, it's a huge money sport, right? We're not dealing in widgets. Everything we deal with in real estate is in residential, it's hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. And if it's in commercial, you're dealing with millions and tens of millions of dollars every single transaction. So let's assume I'm the smartest person in the world, and I've read every book on commercial real estate there is to read, and I know it all. I've taken every designation, every course, and I'm buying a $10 million shopping center. Let's just assume it for a second, right? And I've thought of everything there is to know. I'm 99% there.
Yeah.
Everything there is to know, but I make a 1% mistake.
Yeah.
What does that 1% cost me? $10 million shopping center. Isn't that $100,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So consider the price of ignorance. It's much, much more expensive than the price of education, right? So I don't care if the course takes, 6 months to complete and, cost $5,000. If I can learn one thing that can save me that 1% on my next deal, do you think I'm buying that course? Of course, I'm buying the course. That's why, if you're gonna be serious about investment real estate, then you better go out and read every single book there is to read and watch every single podcast, that where people have shared their knowledge and wisdom about their experience in this business. Because again, golf pros, why do people hire somebody who's very, very good at golf? Why do they hire a golf pro? It's not because they want to learn how to play. They're already the best in the world. They hire coaches so that they can get just at 1% better, because the difference between Olympic champion and person number 11, who you never hear about, it's usually a couple of seconds.
Right.
You just want to be those couple of seconds better, So you never want to stop learning and studying, especially if you're passionate about this business, and it obviously has means to give you the financial freedom. Then I would recommend taking it very seriously and go out and try to find everything you can possibly learn about it.
So what's your sort of prognosis or your crystal ball saying about the future?
So I think the key to survival in general in life, and especially in real estate, is the ability to adapt to change. None of us have crystal balls, but what you just have to be fluid enough to be able to adapt to a ever-changing environment, whether it's interest rates, different market cycles, different administration in the White House. You just have to adapt your strategies, because what have worked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, may not work today. What got you here is not going to get you there. As a matter of fact, if you look at Fortune 500 companies who were around in 1990, I think less than 15 of them out of the 500 are still around.
Wow.
What happened? There's companies like, BlackBerry. They had like 90% of the cell phone market.
Right.
They just failed to adapt to change, right? And now they're non-existent. Or Kodak. Kodak had controlled most of the photography market, in the world in the 80s, and 90s, and when digital photography started coming around, they failed to adapt to change. They thought they were invincible. So even multi-billion-dollar corporations can go non-existent if they don't adapt to change. So the beauty and why we intentionally stayed small, we only have like 20 people, and we could have had 200 people, is because it's easier to adapt to changes when you have a small team and you outsource everything as much as possible.
Any tips on what changes you might be doing now and suggesting for people to think about?
So I did, we right now, our primary focus is buying small bay industrial, flex, shallow bay, flex space. And we see the biggest opportunity in that market to create value quickly, because the construction costs are very high. And there's just not a lot of that inventory around. And so a lot of inventory that is existent hasn't changed hands in years. Oftentimes we see it's the same owner who built it in 1980s, 1990s, and the rent is still the same as it was, 20 years ago, $6-8 gross, and the market, just because of the replacement cost, the market is now $18 or $20 triple net.
Right.
They're still charging $8 gross. So we simply buy existing inventory and, retenant it to market rents and convert leases from modified gross lease structure to triple net. And we can, double or triple the value in a matter of months. So right now we see that as the most lucrative strategy. And a number of years ago, it was entitling multifamily land, because when COVID happened, the apartment land, at least here in the Southeast, the prices went from being, $15,000, $20,000 a door to like doubled and tripled, where apartment land was trading at $40,000 to $50,000 a door. So, now all of a sudden you look at the property and, you're not buying, a Class C shopping center. You're buying a 9-acre site that you can put 300 units on, and, you're paying its fair market value, or you're even overpaying it as a shopping center, but you turn around, repackaging it and selling it to the apartment side for 3x the value. So at that time, that strategy was very lucrative, right? And then interest rates started rising, construction costs increased, and deal was not penciling in. So now multifamily land prices, at least in our market, are back down to like $25 to $30. So, those deals don't pencil in anymore. That used to pencil in a number of years. So we are constantly adapting. We don't, we've done pretty much every single asset class in real estate, other than hotels.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different cup of tea. So I assume what's happening in the Raleigh market itself is high tech coming in there. I assume office space is still pretty dead in Raleigh. Retail's okay. What's happening?
Yeah, so we are essentially very fortunate to be here. Again, I ended up here kind of by accident, by luck, but we're one of the best markets in the country because we have Research Triangle Park. Research Triangle Park is like a Silicon Valley of the East Coast. You got 2,500 companies who are headquartered here, and big companies like IBM and Cisco, SAS, and Wolfspeed, you name it. 2,500 companies who offer high-paying jobs. Mm-hmm. And plus, we have 3 major universities: UNC, NC State, and Duke, and that pop out a couple hundred PhDs a year. And in the past, those PhDs used to move up north, to the West Coast, and now all the talent is being retained here. Yet at the same time, so you have high consumer spending power. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of high-paying jobs, and yet the climate is fairly modest. We don't have severe winters, we don't have severe summers. 2 hours away, and you're by the beach, and 3 hours the opposite direction, and you're in the mountains. And plus the housing costs fairly low, and up until COVID they were very low, and how they doubled over the last few years, but it's still relatively low. The cost of living is very low compared to other markets and other bigger markets.
Yeah.
So that makes it very friendly environment for people to do business and lease spaces and spend money in retail establishments. So
that's fantastic. So if somebody wanted to invest with you or send you a potential off-market transaction, where should they contact you?
They can send me email at Nikita at CityPlat.com. My company is CityPlat. So my first name at CityPlat.com.
That's the easiest way. So I look forward to working with you, and we'll hopefully connect again down the road here.
Sounds good. Bruce, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.